Hi, I'm Marcos Maia. I'm one of the founders of the Tai Chi Without Borders project in Brazil. I'm here together with the other founders, Levis List, Chang Wan, Esteban Ribeiro, and also there is Renato Frade, who's not here today, but is one of the founders as well. So we have been documenting, we started this project at the very onset of the pandemic, and it's been a success in terms of documenting different people, different instructors, Tai Chi lovers, styles and sequences. And also we have had roundtables about several issues related to Tai Chi and Qigong without borders. And now we are really without borders with a very beautiful story of success, which has been the World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. So we're here with Bill Douglas and Angela Douglas to hear a bit about several issues, several very important issues concerning the Tai Chi and Qigong world. Bill Douglas, I don't think he needs an introduction, but he is the founder of the World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. He's written several books. He's been a reference for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the BBC, and all over the world ever since he started this beautiful project in 1999. So without further ado, let's hear Bill and Angela. Concerning first, our first question is, how did you find Tai Chi? How did you start Tai Chi? What's your Tai Chi story?
Well, I started, I didn't officially learn Tai Chi, but I started when I was a little girl. My mom, she used to take Tai Chi from a Tai Chi master that lived a couple of doors down from us. And I always watched them doing their Tai Chi. And, as a little girl, I was curious, and I will follow my mom to her lessons, and I would imitate her as she is being taught by her master. And that's how I got started. But then, as I got a little bit older, just like any teenagers, I lost interest in it, and I'm just too busy trying to play with my friends and not knowing the importance of Tai Chi and what kind of benefits it offers. And then when after me and Bill got married, and we moved out to California, and Bill was thumping through a university catalog, and he go, "Oh, Tai Chi," he always have an interest in Asian culture, and that's how we met. And so he go, "Well, I think I'm going to try this. You want to try it with me?" And I go, "Sure, I'd love to try it with you." So that's how I got back into Tai Chi.
Yeah. And for me, well, I started with Angela, but what led me to it was at the time I was very young. I was in my early 20s, and we had moved to Los Angeles from Kansas. And so, it was very crowded, lots of traffic. And so it was very stressful for me because I came from a very small farming town. And so I ended up going to a therapist, and the therapist recommended mind-body practices. And so then that led me to, to research it. And then when I saw Tai Chi, I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to try that. And so that's how it all started. 45 years ago, no, 40 something years ago. I can't remember.
It's too much to count.
Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you, Marcus.
Yes, sorry about that.
That's good.
Great, yeah. So you started in LA. It's so interesting because Chang and I we're married as well, and we started practicing Tai Chi in Los Angeles as well, in Bronson Park. And
Oh,
then also in Monterey Park with San Jaime was a student of Futsun One.
that's
Okay,
nice.
yeah. All right, now we would like to hear about the Tai Chi World Day. How did it start? How was the beginning? How did you have the idea? And we would like to hear you about that.
Yeah. Well, it was a combination of things. One of the things that happened was we started teaching in hospitals about 30 years ago. And that was a big shift for us because we'd just been teaching in like yoga studios and like that up until that point. And that first class that we did, it was at a major medical center in Kansas City called Shawnee Mission Medical Center. And it wasn't for the doctors or the staff, it was for the public. But that first class that we had, a whole bunch of doctors enrolled in it, and they didn't know each other, but there was a lot of doctors in there. There was a surgeon, a pharmacologist, emergency room physician, therapy nurse, just different, lots of different ones. And anyway, it just really shocked them of the medical health benefits that they were getting, just from like that first 8-week course. We taught a combination of Qigong meditation and moving Qigong meditation, and then Tai Chi. And after 8 weeks, they were getting off hypertension medications that they'd been on for years. The surgeon, she'd had a chronic pain and a limited mobility from a car accident for many years before. And so she, being a surgeon, she'd tried everything medicine had to offer. And after 8 weeks in that course, not only did she no longer have chronic pain, but she had full mobility after all those years. And so these doctors, they started going to their hospital database and they started searching for Tai Chi and meditation medical research. And that was before we knew how to use Google. And so that was our first exposure to the medical research. And it was validating the benefits that the doctors were getting, but also much more. And so that was the beginning of our researching the medical aspect of Tai Chi and Qigong. And and since then we created a medical research library at worldtaichiday.org, where teachers all over the planet can go and find medical and scientific research on mind-body practices. And then that'll help them get into hospitals and schools and universities and things like that. So anyway, so that happened with the hospital. And it was right a few years before that happened. I had been trying to teach my parents how to do meditation and Tai Chi and Qigong. And, and it was all too strange for them. They couldn't really, wrap their heads around it or get it. And, but then my mother, she was in the hospital and she was going to have an angioplasty, a minor surgery. And the night before, apparently she had a premonition that she wasn't going to survive the procedure the next day. Nobody else knew. We all thought it was just a simple procedure. And but anyway, she left a note. And in the note, she said that she wished she could go back a few years and learn the arts of relaxation that I had tried to teach her for a longer life. She said she would have loved to have seen her grandchildren grow up. And I was going through my basement. This is right around the same time that the hospital class started, and we were seeing these amazing medical results. And I was going through my basement, and I found the note that my mother had written the night before she died. And so it was strange timing for both of those things to happen at the same time. So what we started doing was we started sending medical research out to the media, to the major media around the world, all over the planet, because we knew this would help hundreds of millions of people if they knew about it. And we were amazed and frustrated because the media just they weren't interested. And that shocked us because we knew this would help, hundreds of millions of their viewers and readers. So I was in a meditation one day and I was frustrated by all this. And all of a sudden, this idea came into my mind of getting as many people as possible to come to a place in the center of the city and do a Tai Chi exhibition, because it would be so visually spectacular that I thought the media wouldn't be able to ignore it. And so we decided to organize this at a major art museum in Kansas City, the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. And we organized for 6 months. We put up posters in health food stores, and everywhere we could think of. And then we contacted all the media, and we said there's going to be a big spectacular Tai Chi exhibition, in this park. And so that day we showed up, and 200 people showed up, and we spread out across that lawn, and all the media showed up, all the TV stations and newspapers showed up. And one of the news stations, with their coverage was picked up by CNN International News. And so then we started getting contacted by other Tai Chi groups. And then this thing, it just spread around the planet so rapidly. Once we decided to call it World Tai Chi Day, the very next year, 1999, we called it World Tai Chi Day. And I think it was in 12 countries that first year.
We opening now for people here who wants to ask the first question to Bill and Angela. Esteban.
Okay, do you hear me? I'm pleased to meet you. It's an honor to meet both of you. And
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
Okay, so I try to set it.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, much better
now.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's an honor to be here with you. It's really amazing. And my question is, because our project, Tai Chi with No Borders, was born inspired by the World Tai Chi Qigong Day. As the pandemic reached us, we couldn't meet together to celebrate. So we decided to do it online. So about that, we decided to put a name on the project inspired in the World Tai Chi Qigong Day. And it was also inspired by the Médecins Sans Frontières, just a doctor with no borders.
Yes.
It's UN, and we say, okay, let's take this name and let's start. And then we start, and everything, like Levis mentioned before, groups that were apart with no contact at all. And then we start interviewing teachers from all kinds of Tai Chi, because even in Tai Chi, there's a lot of small sections. People look not only in the sense of competition, but in the sense of criticism. This is not Tai Chi. This is good Tai Chi. But this is the human being saying, that we always have to go over the border. We always try to go in. Tai Chi works very well because there's a kind of respect when people get together. They maybe talk on the back of each other, but once we are together, everybody's very polite. Everybody's very pro to something good, to do something better. And my question is, for us, that was there was a surprise realizing so different teachers from so different styles, and once they were talking, we could see everybody is in the same movement in the end. Actually, Tai Chi is a big thing. It's an art of everyone. And I would like to hear from you. After 23 years of World Tai Chi and Qigong Days, how do you feel the idea of no border between Tai Chi schools is gave you a feedback? Do you have something experience how that school is now contacted the other school, or that country with the other country Tai Chi? Do you have any history about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much how World Tai Chi Day spread. It was just, people like yourselves, telling other people in other cities about it. I mean, we did what we could to tell people around the world, but it spread way more than what we could do. So yeah, it's people really resonated to that. One thing I want, there's a couple of things I wanted to comment on. One was you're being inspired by us and Doctors Without Borders. And that's really beautiful. Yeah, I wanted to mention that. But Tai Chi Without Borders, but being inspired by Doctors Without Borders. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about what you were talking about the kind of divisions within Tai Chi and Qigong. And in my first book, or in our first book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tai Chi and Qigong, we put a joke that we had heard at a conference. And there's a real famous American joke, and it's called how many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? And then the joke is built around that. And so the joke with this is, how many Tai Chi teachers does it take to screw in a light bulb? And the answer to that is, it only takes one to screw the light bulb in, but it takes 99 other teachers to stand around and go, that's not the way we do it. But I just wanted to tell you that I found it moving that both us and Doctors Without Borders inspired your project, because in the 1980s, I actually served with Doctors Without Borders in Salvadoran and Guatemalan refugee camps in Central America. And so we worked closely with the Doctors Without Borders, so that's very nice. I'm glad you told me about that.
Thank you.
Other question, Levis?
Okay, it's my turn now. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Levi Leeds. I'm from the city of Curitiba, south of Brazil. Our fellows, Brazilian fellows here, Marcos is from Rio de Janeiro, Estevan as well, and so is Shang, all teachers, Tai Chi teachers. All right, so Bill and Angela, we are really glad you are here with us, that we can have this moment with you. Please, very pleased to meet you. But first of all, I'd like to say that I haven't spoken English for a very long time, so it's been a while. So I apologize any linguistic mistakes of mine. In addition to that, not to get too far, about this outstanding initiative to create the World Day Tai Chi and Qigong, 23 years up to now, right? Stephen mentioned that. So my question is for you both, how was the response? I mean, how was the reaction from China about your initiative? Did you get any feedback from the Chinese Tai Chi community or government? Could you comment a little bit about that?
Well, the World Tai Chi Day and Qigong Day itself, it's completely grassroots. So all the events have just spread person to person to person to person. And it's been kind of amazing. It's just an organic thing, the way that it formed. And so it didn't really depend on any national or official recognition from anybody, any group or anything. But it has gotten a lot of recognition from governments and hospitals and, different things that we never dreamed would be possible. Harvard Medical School actually had a conference to commemorate World Tai Chi Day. So we've gotten, this validation from governments and hospitals and so forth. But that's not what made World Tai Chi Day happen. It was just an organic thing that happened and spread around the planet. And in our new book, the new second edition of the Gospel of Science, we get into some science, some very interesting and exciting science that leads us to believe that really what we were doing was we weren't really making World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, not me and Angie, but we were tapping into a consciousness of people around the planet that just knew that it was time for this to happen. And that's a really fascinating. What we found out just before our book went to press on January 1st was we got data from Princeton University's research project called the Global Consciousness Project. And what they discovered was that they could detect shifts in global consciousness. And they noticed it during Princess Diana's funeral, that it made their computers all over the planet go off track. And then other tragedies, they noticed the same thing. But then they started looking at organized mind-body events, global mind-body events like World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. And we didn't know about it, but in 2007, they collected data during the 24-hour period of World Tai Chi Day. And what they discovered was that for that 24-hour period, we had measurably increased coherence in global consciousness by having people do Tai Chi and Qigong and also yoga and meditation, at a lot of events all around the planet for that 24-hour period. And so that was incredibly exciting to discover that we could actually, have an impact like that. And one of the things that I learned when I was researching this new second edition of the Gospel of Science was that 1998, that was when we had that first mass event in Kansas City. That was the year before it became World Tai Chi Day. And 1998 was also the year that Dr. Effie Chow had her first prototype World Congress on Qigong, which was instrumental in making World Tai Chi Day spread around the planet. And also we found out that 1998 was when the Global Consciousness Project research started at Princeton University. And so it was really interesting that all these pivotal things that have all woven together over the last 23 years all started the same year. And so that's what leads us to believe that when we go into meditative states, that we're able to tap into a larger consciousness, and this is all reflected in Taoist philosophy. But what's fascinating about the time that we're living in today is that these ancient Taoist tenets of consciousness being larger than just our physical brain are being validated by science. And so, yeah, that's extremely exciting.
Well said. Thanks for this information. We are going to spread this all over as well.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that was so exciting when we were finishing the final edits on the book was we became aware of data that we put in the book, and it showed that violent crime rates in the United States and in many countries around the world are at 40-year lows. Now, most people don't believe that because the news makes them think that the violence is worse than it's ever been before, but that's just not true. It's actually violent crime rates have been dropping precipitously for the last 40 years. And it was during the last 40 years, that's when mind-body practices like Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga and meditation and mindfulness have spread around the planet like a wildfire. And there's a lot of research that the TM Foundation has done that shows that when a small percentage of the population is high-level meditators, that it actually reduces violent crime rates for a whole city or institution or whatever, for the whole city, not just the people that are meditating. And so this is all very exciting stuff. It shows that we are literally changing global consciousness in the future of the planet by doing these things. And it's just, it's fun to do Tai Chi and Qigong, and that's why we do it. That's why I like to do it, because it's fun. But it's really nice to know, that we are having an impact on the future of humanity.
Cheng?
Indeed, what you said is what? Sorry, Marcus. Okay, just in addition, just to relax a bit, just a little of a point of humor, not just around the planet, Bill. Some astronauts also did Tai Chi in orbit,
That's right. That's right. We're extraterrestrial.
Okay, thank you for your comment, Marcus.
Cheng, your question.
My current.
Hi.
So first, I'd like to say I'm very happy it's very.
Oh, you're freezing up a
Meet
little.
you both.
Oh, there we go.
You're very enthusiasts all over the world for the World Tai Chi Qigong Day. So it's very nice to meet you, and thank you again for accepting our invitation for this interview.
Our pleasure.
Seems my connection is not very stable. Is that right?
Yeah, it does seem to be freezing up some.
So is it better now?
Yeah, it seems to be.
So I was wondering, all these 23 years of putting up this World Tai Chi Qigong Day events all over the world, if you'd had some interesting, uplifting stories that you might like to share related to this world all over world event, the Tai Chi Qigong.
Did you have any, wanted to share, Angie? It's hard to come off the top of your head, but yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is one of the things, you know, when we started getting these photographs, you know, like I said, when we first started organizing World Tai Chi Day, the intention was to spread the medical scientific proof that these things could help people. But then, you know, as we launched it, and then we started getting these photos and these videos from all these different countries all over the planet, you know, places that I never would have dreamed, you know, would be doing Tai Chi and Qigong, that it had just permeated the entire planet. And so we were getting all these videos and photos. And one of the things that you realize as you're watching this, because, you know, I'm the video creator for World Tai Chi Day. So I sit in front of the computer and I compile, you know, all these videos that we get in. And so I sit there and look at them for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, you know, way more than anybody else does. And the thing that you notice when you're doing this is that, you know, when we go into that chi, that flow state, you know, that meditative, you know, alpha brainwave state that we go into when we're practicing these things, you get this certain look on your face. And so I was seeing all these images, you know, from, you know, Iran and Turkey and South Africa and Tanzania and Australia, and, you know, just all over. And everybody had that, you know, that familiar look on their face. And you know how they feel in their bodies when they have that look on their face. You know, it's like you feel what they're feeling, you know, when you practice these things over and over again. And so that commonality, that connection of humanity and the commonality of humanity, you know, that we're all, you know, well, the motto of World Tai Chi and Qigong Day became one world, one breath, because we were inspired by these images. And now what science is showing is that's an actual physical reality, that we really do connect with one another when we go into these states. And so that's been one of the most beautiful things of this. It's like, for me personally, national boundaries don't really exist for me anymore. I just don't see that. I just see the ocean of humanity. And
yes, very nice put. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Bill. So World Tai Chi and Qigong Day is a success, as a major step in the sense of evolution, even of humankind. But in Brazil, I don't think people are so much acquainted with the Global Transformation Project. So I would like to take the opportunity to ask you to tell us more about the project.
Yes. Well, for the last 40 years, Angela and I have been working to complete this book that we just released on January 1st. It's the new second edition of the Gospel of Science. So if you do a search for it on Amazon or whatever bookseller you want, when you search for the Gospel of Science, make sure you put in second new edition of the Gospel of Science. And what it is 40 years of collected mind-body research. And it paints an extremely hopeful vision of the future. We're at a time in human history when we have the potential ability to bring evolution of the planet forward in massive ways. The science shows this, and mind-body practices are at the core of this. And so what this 40 years of mind-body science and consciousness science that we collected in the book led to was the launch of the Global Transformation Project. So this is our second global effort after World Tai Chi Day. And what it's based around is a call for a United Nations resolution advocating mind-body education as a core part of public education worldwide. So it would like replace PE. It would be kind of like a hybrid of physical education and health science. Because Tai Chi and yoga and Qigong, they provide cardiovascular benefit. And so kids would get a physical exercise from it, but then they'd also get all these benefits of mind-body practices. And what you discover is, as you go through this science, is that it's really crazy that we have not already incorporated mind-body education into public education, because the science shows that it increases our IQ, our intelligence quotient. It improves our verbal fluency. It improves our math proficiency skills. It improves our test scores and focus. It improves our GRE reading scores. And so there's no sane teacher on the planet that would say, oh, we don't want that for our students. It's like once teachers know about this science, they're going to want to have mind-body practices. Plus, it improves behavior. It reduces attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. It reduces bullying in the classes. You get better behavior and focus with the students. So all teachers are going to want this. And so we're going to go to the United Nations with this resolution and ask as many countries as possible to co-sponsor it. And there's a precedent for this. And we believe that we'll be able to do this, and it'll have huge impact, save the world trillions of dollars in future health costs and also social costs. But the reason that one of the reasons we're so confident, besides just the overwhelming science, is because in 2015, it might have been 2014, the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution for the International Day of Yoga. And it set a record. It had more co-sponsoring nations than any resolution before, 177 co-sponsoring nations. And they were co-sponsoring the International Day of Yoga for the very same reasons that we're advocating the Global Transformation Project, public education with mind-body practices, because it would improve global health and just the general well-being of the planet. And so we just feel like this is the time in human history where we can make this happen, and it'll transform the planet. It'll save the planet trillions of dollars, and all the science is in the new second edition of the Gospel of Science. And if anybody out there, if it lights the fire of anybody out there like it has us, I'd love to talk to you about translating this into Portuguese. We need to get this book into every language on the planet because it'll change history. Yeah.
Thank you. I just downloaded the book. I'm going to read it. Who knows?
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear what you think of it. Yeah.
Yes, we'll talk about that. So if you allow me another question still, I would like to know about you and Angela. What are your favorite Tai Chi and or Qigong routines in your day-to-day lives? What do you do? What do you like to do?
I'll let Angela start because her story is a lot more interesting than mine is.
Tell us about that. Would be beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Angela has learned. She's learned 4 different Tai Chi styles, so her story is more interesting.
Well, I don't know about that. I think I give a lot back to my teacher. I do the Kuang Ping Yang style, and I do the Mulan basic and the sword and the fan style. I don't know if you have seen the Mulan style Tai Chi or not, but it is created by a woman master. She's the only woman master that had created a Tai Chi form. And it's really beautiful and elegant, and of course all the benefits of Tai Chi comes along with it. We've learned that there's actually another style that was created by a woman too, but it's more modern. The Mulan style is more ancient, and and it's just gorgeous. And I'll tell you,
Angela, she does a lot of the business things for World Tai Chi Day and for, our local teaching. And so I actually spend a lot more time in the classroom doing Tai Chi. And so I would say I probably, get about 10 times more practice than Angela does. But Angela's Tai Chi is about 10 times better than my Tai Chi. She's just a natural at it.
He's giving me too much credit.
Not really.
Great. So is there any other questions? And would you like to say something else before we finish?
Yeah, if anybody has any other questions, feel free, but I can always talk more if anybody has any.
Yes, one more question. Still into the question of Marcos, because I remember when you first time I heard about the World Tai Chi Qigong Day, it was ring to me. It was there was no social media at the time, so we just heard, oh, okay, at 10 o'clock a.m., everybody in the world in their time, they will do the 24 simplified Tai Chi form, which is probably the style most practiced for all the people. And I was curious, what was the reason? Was that the reason? Because it was the more spread style, or there was any other reason to do the 24, to choose the 24 as the form to be performed at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, I think probably that was, the local organizers that interpreted it that way. Because what we did from the very beginning was open it up to all the Tai Chi styles. And so, because what we did here in Kansas City for that first year was the Guangping Yang style. And so that's even a little different than the 24 form Yang style. And so from the very beginning, it was for all styles. And then it expanded to all Qigong styles as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But go ahead, Marcus.
No.
Okay.
Maybe you could tell us, because you're mentioning the 5 body-mind practices, maybe included in public education. How's that going? What do you think about that?
Yes. What we're doing right now is we're trying to get the science spread out as widely as we can, because we want to create a global mind-body coalition. So we're reaching out to John Kabat-Zinn, who he really started the mindfulness movement in the United States and many countries. And then David Lynch and the Transcendental Meditation Foundation, we're constantly reaching out to them. And then recently we were, our UN resolution project was supported by the founder of Heart Math. And so probably a lot of your viewers will be familiar with Heart Math. They do incredible research. And so we're building a coalition of scientists and professional educators and healthcare professionals to support our effort, but also just everybody. We want to go to the United Nations with tens of thousands of signatures. And so we're looking for the support of everybody who's enjoyed mind-body benefits. And that would, that includes yoga people, meditation people, mindfulness people, Tai Chi and Qigong people. We all know that it's life transformative. And over the years, many of the World Tai Chi Day events, they've included yoga groups or yoga teachers, and also meditation groups and meditation teachers. In fact, the event in Cairo, Egypt, had Sufi dancers. And so, Sufism it's real similar to Taoism. And so Sufi dancers, they're the whirling dervishes, and that's a mind-body practice. It's a meditative practice. It's kind of like it's a moving Qigong practice, really. And so we've just really come to realize that these big 5, Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, yoga, and mindfulness, they have the massive science behind them. They should already be part of public education worldwide. And we want to, just like we built the Tai Chi and Qigong Coalition with all the different styles and groups, and with World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, now we want to do that with the global mind-body community. And there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of us. And if we can come together as a mind-body community worldwide, we'll be able to make this happen, and it'll change the history of the planet. To have hundreds of millions of new mind-body practitioners in the planet, it'll save us trillions of dollars every year, but it'll also change the global consciousness of the planet and create a more compassionate and thoughtful and less fear-based planet. And God knows this is a time when we really need that on the planet.
Okay, so there's no other questions. I'd like to say that it was an honor and a pleasure and to be here with you today. And you can count on us, each one of us, and our Tai Chi Without Borders project to help resonate such beautiful, uplifting, and necessary ideas. So thank you
for your work. Yeah, thank you for your work and vision. It's really beautiful what you guys are doing, what you folks are doing.
Thank you very much.